Okay, in this video, I want to elaborate a little bit on the idea that we talked about last time, that notion of unity or connectivity, how everything needs to be seen at the beginning of a composition as sort of comprised of the same stuff. You know, it's line, it's tone, it's color. It's the things that we have to work with as artists, right? We don't work with bottles or, you know, human beings or trees or whatever. We deal with line, tone, shape, color. That's what we have. So we have to reduce everything to those simple graphic terms before we begin to design. And then we need to, or it's helpful to see how things on that level, on that graphic level, line, tone, shape, color, how do things connect? How do they seem like they fit together, belong together, and be part of the same kind of unity or connectivity? All right, so what we didn't talk about last time was just how that relates eventually to the notion of creativity or expression. And so what I want to start with in this video is the notion of the idea, which is the same thing as your expression or creativity or your point of view, however you want to put it. That's what we seek to do as artists. We seek to express a particular idea that hopefully is kind of intimately connected to us and how we see the world as individuals. In graphic terms, the idea can be broken down into three thoughts, I guess, about this notion that we have about what we want to express. One is called subject matter. And subject matter is just, for realists, it's the thing that we're drawing. So it's the person, it's the tree, it's whatever it is. It's the narrative, it's the thing that we name in the world that we're drawing. So that's subject matter. The second idea is called form. And every subject matter has form. They're connected together. Form is really the graphic component of subject matter. So in other words, if I draw a person here with kind of a funny hat, I would say in terms of subject matter, that's a person with a funny hat. In terms of form, what I have is an oval shape surmounted by a triangular shape, and those have graphic consequences. For example, a triangular shape is a very, it's not just a triangle, it has implications in terms of movement. So a triangular, it's a pointing shape, it goes from wide to slim, and so it points us in a particular direction in a very strong way. And as an artist, we want to be aware of that, so we can use that. Like, we don't want, we don't want to just draw things without thinking about the graphic consequences of it. So if I've got, a triangular hat, I want to realize that that's going to be pointing me very strongly in that direction, and that could be part of some bigger rhythm that I'm trying to create. Or if I don't like that that kind of directional shape, I can take steps to kind of mitigate the intensity of that triangular shape. But the bottom line is that there's this whole other world out there, this kind of secret world of art that is the graphic consequence of the subject matter. And every great artist, whether it's a modern artist or whether it's an old master, they understood this. If you go to the museum and you stand in front of a great painting and you ask yourself, why did they make that cloud that particular shape? And think about the graphic consequences. Well, that cloud shape sort of points me in this direction. It takes my eye to here, and then my eye sort of moved over to here by this tree, and then down to here. And so it's conceived of not just as a thing in and of itself, but as part of this whole graphic puzzle that the artist is trying to put together. Okay, and the intent of these two, of both the subject matter, which has its own implications. I mean, a head is a head, and it has a certain kind of attraction, and if it's a particular person, we're going to assign a certain kind of a visual weight to it just because it's that thing. I mean, that is important. But also its graphic or its form consequence, those two need to add up to or be manipulated in a way so that it creates what's called content. Okay, and content is the idea. So So we're taking the subject matter, the thing, we're organizing it and its underlying form consequence in a way so that we can create a particular content or idea that's unique to us. So art is never just about sort of copying what you see. It's about, looking, realizing what the subject matter is, what its graphic consequence is, and then organizing it so that it works together. It kind of goes back to that idea of connectivity or unity. Like we're trying to organize the subject matter out there so that it fits together graphically in a pleasing way that creates a nice, interesting pattern, but also in a way that conveys a particular kind of idea. So if that still seems a little fuzzy to you, if I do two drawings, and in one, my drawing is like this, and in my other, my drawing is like this. Okay. There's a very different feel to those two drawings, right? Simply because of the graphic consequence of the shapes that I put in. I mean, these triangular shapes are something more active, vaguely more threatening, they're teeth-like, whatever. But there's something a little bit more kind of harder and a little bit more anxiety-provoking about something like this, whereas this seems like something calmer and quieter and slower, right? So if you think about the subject matter, the things that we're actually drawing as having these kinds of shapes underlying them and having an impact, then it starts to help you think about how you choose your subject matter, even when you're trying to convey a particular idea.